they made solid picks.
Yeah.
Like, as an award show, it was pretty unimpeachable. Joe Coy was death. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. And if you've not yet subscribed to my newsletter, I'd love it if you would, because we get busy. And so I am here to gather all the goodies and put them in one tidy little package and send them out to you on Saturdays. It's called Saturday Matinee. So if you've not yet subscribed, you can by going to christylemire.com and clicking on the subscribe here button. So join me. I'm here for you at 6 a.m. on Saturdays. We've got some breaking news for you today, and that is that there's going to be a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. It is literally called The Mandalorian and Grogu.
And Grogu, yeah. I'm not even quite sure like how I'm supposed to take this now. Like, is this like, well, they know what's working and what isn't working? Is this like desperate? I don't even know. Like, what do we think about the fact that this Disney Plus TV show has become the next thing for Star Wars on the big screen?
Is it giving the people what they want? Like, people want Baby Yoda, and so here's a whole feature film of it, and they figure maybe it's like people will pay money for that.
Is this all just a way to sell more merch? Like, who knows? The one thing that I do raise an eyebrow, which they also announced today, but with much less fanfare, is that they're doing a second season of Ahsoka.
And nobody needs that.
Nobody wants that but Dave Filoni. And I guess Disney wants to make him happy, but it's like, no one cares.
Yeah, the first season of Ahsoka was so bad. And so this brings me to the question, like, do we recap the second season of Ahsoka just for, to be completists, to be here for you, the viewer? I don't know. I did not love Ahsoka, and neither did you. But anyway, Dave Filoni is producing this. Jon Favreau is going to direct this Mandalorian and Grogu movie. It goes into production at some point in time this year. So we will keep following that. Maybe that'll be a Golden Globe nominee next year. Did you watch the Golden Globes, Alonso?
I did not, but I have to say, reading about it afterwards was a fascinating train wreck all its own.
So they made solid picks.
Yeah.
Like, as an award show, it was pretty unimpeachable. Joe Coy was death. He was a disaster. Like, from the very first second he was bombing. And I just have to assume, based on what I've heard comedians say, like, when you're bombing. And I guess you have to just keep going with it. Like, you just can't get off that hurtling train. And so he told like one joke after another that felt so strained and hacky. But then when he made his two that bombed in particular, one joke about Taylor Swift, that he said afterward was intended as a joke about the NFL, but the way he phrased it came off horribly. And they cut away to her like sipping her champagne, like unbothered. And then there was a joke about, Oppenheimer and Barbie. One is based on a Pulitzer Prize winning book, and one's based on a doll with big boobs.
Boobies.
And that just thudded. That like landed with a thud. It's like, you do not know what room you are in. Clearly.
Saint Guy Branum, bless him, was on a podcast yesterday saying, why, first of all, award shows are no place for straight men to host anyway. Like, this isn't for you. This isn't your world. And award shows keep bringing in these bros who don't particularly care about movies to host in the hopes that like their fans will tune in along with those of us who actually do care about movies. It's like if they asked me to host the ESPYs, just because they wanted to diversify their audience. It's like, no, get somebody who actually cares about the thing being handed out and not somebody who feels like they're above it, So I think that's just a mistake they keep making with these shows.
I think Jimmy Kimmel cares about movies. I think
Kimmel
Billy
does.
Crystal used to care about movies.
Absolutely.
When he hosted the Oscars.
But there's a difference. Like, the year that Chris Rock was like, I don't even know who Jude Law is. It was like, well, then maybe you shouldn't be here when he's the nominee, Like,
but that bit he did at the Magic Johnson Theater was really funny.
That was funny, yes. But you know what I'm saying? Generally speaking, maybe don't hire someone who has, if not contempt, at least a non-interest in the event at hand. If you were hiring this guy to do a corporate gig, like, he would not talk shit about insurance in front of insurance salesmen, Yeah.
And then what's funny about that is that this is the first year that they had a stand-up comedy category, and the winner was Ricky Gervais, whose entire raison d'etre was to show up at the Golden Globes and tool on the Golden Globes. So there's that. Some of the bits were.
And Gerard Carmichael did it brilliantly last year. I mean, like, if you have an agenda in mind and funny things to say, sure, go for it. But if you're just going to be like, movies,
They weren't ready for that, right? But then, like, most of the bits were really hacky and like the stiff, like no chemistry. But then, like, Jean-Baptiste and Andrew Day, hilarious, loose, so funny, and like, I wish they could have hosted. Jim Gaffigan announced the comedy category. He's right there. Let Jim Gaffigan host.
Yeah.
So, so that was that. Also, people won awards. Oppenheimer won 5 things. It won picture, director. It won for Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., and for its score. And then, Emma Stone won for Poor Things. Poor Things upset Barbie in the comedy category. So if you want to call that an upset. But I was thinking about how in their attempts to expand, diversify, get credibility, they picked really great stuff. And back in the ye old days of yore, like Maestro would have won and The Color Purple would have won, like safe, crowd-pleasing picks. So like Oppenheimer and Poor Things are challenging movies,
True. They kind of fall in the middle somewhere. I mean, like Oppenheimer is a big studio movie with a lot of stars in it, and Poor Things is a mini major movie with a lot of stars in it. But yeah, they are definitely not sort of narratively easy to swallow for this crowd. And you can tell they've reached out to get more like sort of more to try to legitimize themselves more as an organization by the people that they've got voting. And I would say even the old Golden Globes, though, at least it was more in the nominations where things were really shameless than necessarily in the wins. But I hear you.
Here's Angelina Jolie.
Exactly.
Just because. Well, Oscar nominations are January 23rd. That's in 2 weeks from today. We will be doing a live stream. When they come out, we'd love to see you, hear your thoughts. And so mark your calendars for that. We'll have more details on that very soon. You, Alonso, and your fancy friends at the National Society of Film Critics did your picks over the weekend.
Yes, we did. We met. It was because it is a national organization. You can't really all pack in one room. So I was in an apartment in LA with a bunch of folks. There was another one in New York, and then a lot of people voting via Slack on the Zoom channel. And yeah, I think we came up with a nice list of things.
Well, what did you pick?
Well, Best Picture went to Past Lives. Our Best Actor was Andrew Scott, who we'll be talking about today in All of Us Strangers. Best Actress going to Emma Stone. I don't have.
I wasn't there. They have not invited me, Alonso. I don't get to go to the apartment.
I applied a bunch of times before I got in, so there was no cakewalk. I know that foreign film was Aki Kaurismäki's Fallen Leaves, which we're going to be getting to. The documentary again went to Frederick Wiseman's Menu Plaisir Les Trois Gros, which is not Oscar shortlisted, but it did sweep the critics groups this year. So make of that what you will. Best Director Jonathan Glazer. Oh, sorry, Best Actor Sandra Hüller. Forgive me, for Anatomy of Fall and Zone of Interest. Davine Joy Randolph, Supporting Actress for The Holdovers, which she also won at the Globes.
She just keeps on winning. Yeah.
Supporting Actor Charles Melton for May December. Which also won Best Screenplay for Sammy Birch, and cinematography to Rodrigo Prieto for Killers of the Flower Moon, experimental film to Jean-Luc Godard's final short trailer of a film that will never exist, Phony Wars, a special citation for film awaiting U.S. distribution to Victor Edis's Close Your Eyes, and 2 Film Heritage Awards, one to Criterion Channel and one to Facets in New York. Facets in Chicago, Kim's Video in New York, Scarecrow Video in Seattle, and Vidiot's here in Los Angeles for maintaining libraries of physical media and making them available to the public.
Good work to you all strong choices there. And then we have a Mean Girls review later on this week. We're seeing Mean Girls tonight, but there was a premiere last night, and Lindsay Lohan made a surprise appearance on the pink carpet at Mean Girls. Once again, this is the musical version, the movie version of the musical version of the movie. We keep doing this with Waitress and with The Color Purple, and now DC, they've announced they're going to do a stage musical production of Purple Rain.
Yes, which somehow I guess is going to involve a motorcycle and Lake Minnetonka. So,
Out of paper mache.
Good luck
It'll be
to you
very
on that one.
Charlie Kaufman, Spike Jonze. So that is it. But that whole album though is so good. Like if they just do every song on that soundtrack, that will be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if for a full scale musical, is that enough songs? Like, are you gonna have to beef it up with some stuff from like 1999 or Dirty Mind or something?
Interesting. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Stranger Things season 5 is in production now. We have some early looks at that. We love Stranger Things around here and have recapped it over on our Patreon. So if you are not already a member over there, we'd love to see you. Patreon.
The kids are all 30.
The kids are well out of high school at this point. Yeah, but it's still the 80s. Patreon.com/BFestAllDay is where you can find all of our Stranger Things stuff. Speaking of Waitress, the musical, Waitress, the musical, the movie is going to be available now today. You could go right now and you could buy it online, rent it online, and then on February 6th, it will be out available for VOD and DVD.
Nice.
So we review that as well.
Absolutely. I'm sure you'll have a link in here somewhere. We were both big fans.
We were indeed, so go check that out.